Okay, so let's go over some really important tips, and I'll just give you a few little example responses of really how you're supposed to do part number one. You know the basics already. They're going to ask you some questions. This is an easy section. It's going to be about all kinds of stuff: music, plants, colors, where you live, where you stay, do you work or you study, that kind of stuff. It'll last for about 9 minutes. Here are some of the keys to a great score. All right, you want to make sure that you say your sentences smoothly from beginning to end. That's really, really important. In addition to that, definitely use your connectors and discourse markers. Using your connectors and your discourse markers is extremely helpful. All right, that's it's the big problem with a lot of students is they don't know what it takes to get a good grade. They think that, well, I just need to answer the question, that's all. I just need to say a response and just get a response out and move on to the next question and try to hurry up as fast as possible. That's not what you're supposed to do. Okay? That's not what you're supposed to do. Paraphrase the question. Don't answer using the exact same words. Use a variety of sentences and match your verb tense to the question. Use specific vocabulary to the question. Okay? Use subject-specific vocabulary. Answer the question directly and then extend or explain your answer with more detail. Do you understand? Answer the question directly with synonym language, and then extend or explain your answer with more detail. Another thing that's very helpful, read through all these part one questions that I have here in this document here. Because if you read through all these part one questions, you'll have and you practice answering them the way I'm telling you, by answering and extending your answer, you're going to become very, very comfortable when you take the real exam with being able to answer these questions the right kind of way. This right here is a little bit of answer strategy, like in terms of how to answer. Basically talking about what I said in terms of answering and extending your answer. So if you need to, pause the tape and you can kind of read through that and get a good idea of it. All right, so this is what I mean in terms. I'm going to give you a few examples of like how to answer questions, right? So if they ask you a question like, what's your full name? Right? You don't want to say stuff like, my full name is. What's your full name? My full name is. That's what I mean by repeating the question. Okay? That's what I mean by repeating the question. Answer the question directly, and then go ahead and extend that answer, right? So for example, what's your full name? My parents named me John Williams when I was born, and they chose the name John because it was the name of my great-grandfather, who was a very famous man in the engineering field. Right? You see how that was much better than my name is? And I answered it directly. Okay? You don't have to repeat the question, all right? You don't have to repeat the question. Try your best to answer directly as much as you can. As much as you can. Tell me about the country you're from. You don't say, I am from China. Tell me about the country you're from. I am from China. And then you stop right there. That's a bad answer. Okay? That's not the kind of answer that's going to get you a very high score. Right? So when they say, tell me about the country you're from, this is how you give this is how you give a really proper answer to that. Tell me about the country you're from. While there are many wonderful countries around the world, I think my country, Brazil, is one of the best around. As you may know, Brazil is located in South America, and it has neighbors Uruguay and Colombia and a few other countries. All right. So you see how I answer and I extended my answer. Answer and extended my answer. Okay? So that's how you're supposed to answer questions. You answer and you extend the answer. Okay, like tell me about your house, right? Tell me about your house. So again, answer and extend your answer. Tell me about your house. Well, currently I'm living with a host family in Denver, Colorado. And if I were to describe the house, I would definitely have to say that it is a beautiful 3-story brick house located on the east side of the city. The house is very, very well designed, and it has everything that a person can need to really study well here in Denver, Colorado. The house has 5 bedrooms, a kitchen, a living room, a dining room, and a basement that is well designed with games and activities for everyone. Okay, see, that's the kind of answer that's going to be able to get you a really, really good score. Like here, do you like to write emails? Don't say, yes, I like to write emails. That is a bad answer. Okay, answer, be direct, and then extend. Be direct and extend. Be direct and extend. So if they say, do you like to write emails? I probably compose about 10 to 15 emails every day. So I would definitely say that I enjoy the aspect of writing emails to people. I think that when I write an email, it conveys my complete thought, and also it gives a chance for the person to respond to me in their own time. All right. So again, you see, I answered directly. I did not repeat the question. Okay. Try your best. I know it's hard. Sometimes we all forget. I forget sometimes. Okay. In terms of not repeating the question. But that's what we have to be able to do. Okay. You want to be able to answer in that kind of way. And then answer and extend. And use synonym language from the question. So when you're answering all these different questions for part 1, just make sure you do that. Make sure you actually go about doing that. Like here. It says, let's talk about fashion. Do you like fashionable things? Again, bad answer. Yes, I like fashionable things. Right? And then you stop right there. That's a bad answer. You have to show that you have an ability to speak English. And when you're able to answer and extend your answer, that's what shows that you have the ability to really do well in terms of that you really have a high level of English. So if you were responding to this, if you were responding to, do you like fashionable things, you might say, when I was much younger, I did not appreciate fashion very much, but now I enjoy all of the latest fashion in terms of clothes, magazines, and also music. Right? That's a good answer. And I used a complex sentence. I started with when. Do you dress differently on weekends and weekdays? Okay, again, we don't want to just give a basic repeating question. Okay? So a proper answer to this question might be, the weekends and the weekdays are totally separate from me, and I treat them much different. I treat them very, very differently. During the week, I would very often wear business clothes, which means that I will have on long button-up shirt and slacks. However, on the weekend, you may find me in shorts, sandals, and a t-shirt and headed out to the beach. So I would definitely say if someone were to see me, they would see 2 different people. Okay? So answer, extend, explain. Answer, extend, explain. Another thing that you have to make sure that you're careful with when you're answering the question is don't go outside the box of the question. Okay? Don't go outside the box of the question. Don't do that. All right? Don't go outside the box of the question. What I mean by that is If they're asking you about, do you like fashionable things, then you shouldn't go outside the box of the question and start talking about your favorite fashion designer, or just going really outside the question. Try to stay within the question. Okay, try to stay within the question, and that's very, very important, because a lot of students have a tendency to go off in the wrong direction when trying to answer questions, and they end up, and that's why the grader has to tell them to stop speaking, because they've gone off track. Okay, so I would really encourage you to go through these questions and try answering the questions the way I just explained to you, in terms of answering and extending your answer. Answering and extending your answer. Answer and extend your answer. All right? So I'll talk to you soon.